You know, this weather, it reminds me of back in the day with my poor old grandma. You know, she was a very glamorous woman. Yeah, very glamorous. I remember if I ever went near her jewelry box, she'd stop and she'd say, "Hey, Max, get your ass away from there." And I'd run. She always said if anything ever happened to her, that she always wanted to remain glamorous in death. So, she used to have blue eyes. Big blue eyes, you know. Lovely and kind hearted, you know. Among being glamorous, of course. Oh gosh. She had bluest eyes. It's funny, even after how death works, isn't it? After you die, you go from having blue eyes, brown eyes, green eyes, to just the blackest eyes. But after death, I kept her glamorous, as she wished. Meet my grandmother. So, the original Halloween came out in 1978. I mean, everyone knows that by now, right? Oh man, this film, it was beyond ahead of its time. It was, God, such a simple concept of a man stalking babysitters and just killing them. It's so simple. You know, there's no complex story or anything. It's just so simple. And even better, it's even more effective because of its simplicity. Who knows? And then, of course, you have the fact that it was Jamie Lee Curtis's first movie. And, you know, this was the one that brought her into full-on stardom. I mean, wow. And it was obviously directed by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. So they started it, and boom. It took a while before it was successful. Whenever it was first released, people thought it was just bleh. Boy, were they wrong. So you get the beginning of the movie, which is basically all we see is the camera moving, which is capturing the character outside the house looking up, and then you walk in, you see a light go off, and you walk into the kitchen and grab a mask, and they do this really clever shot that they have the mask and they put it up to the camera, which obviously, you know, it back then there was nothing like this before that. No techniques were done like this. And then you see the hand grabbing the knife, which ironically was, in reality, it was Deborah Hill's hand. But, yeah, it was meant to be Michael, obviously. Grab the mask. You see him walking in, stopping, the boyfriend, Judith's, Michael's sister, running out. And then we have Michael walking upstairs. The iconic scene where Judith is combing her hair and then Michael stabs her repeatedly, killing her, and then takes off really quickly. The part that really creeps me out about that scene is while he's stabbing her, is a shot of him like looking at his hand as he does it. And part of that always creeped me out. I always thought, like, what is he? Is he like admiring it? Is he like fat? Like, it's just something chilling about it. So, kills her, runs out of the house. And then we have the, the shot that I think for all first time watchers of it shocked them. Like you're like, whoa. You know, where car drives up, two man and woman runs up and they say Michael, and they take the mask off and boom, it's a kid. And that shot that pans out while he's holding the knife, it's iconic but shocking, especially for 1978. It was unbelievable, but extremely effective. Skip numerous years later, we are introduced to a character called Dr. Loomis, Dr. Samuel Loomis. And he's in the car with his nurse, and they're driving to Smithgrove Sanitarium, which is where they're keeping Michael. And already, instantly, we see how much Dr. Loomis already expresses how much he doesn't want Michael to get out. How much it's the last thing he wants. Like he says, he hasn't spoken a word in years, and you know, she asks him, you really don't want him to get out? He's like, never, never, never. You know, powerful stuff. I mean, Donald Pleasence, what a legend. So they get there and they see all these patients wandering around in like white gowns, in the, you know, pissing rain. And they're like, you know, since when did they let them wander around? So she, you know, they get out, he runs to the phone, and that's when you're first introduced to adult Michael, which we see him in the back of the car, the back window, running up on top of the car. And then that scene, obviously, where you see the hand hitting the window and grabbing the nurse, then, you know, he gets away in the car. And I think that's sort of the first hint, like whenever Loomis is like, he's gone, the evil is gone. That's, you know, when you look at it, there really isn't much of an origin of Michael in this movie. Unlike, say, like Rob Zombie's Halloween, and we'll get there one day, don't worry, we'll get there one day. But yeah, in the original, no origin, and I think that is more effective. I think it's more scarier to have a killer with no motive at all. It just makes it more like, you know, there's no reason for him to be killing. So unanswered questions like that, I think, are for the best. But so yeah, then we skip and are introduced to Jamie Lee Curtis in the town of Haddonfield. We're going to see Haddonfield a lot. And then you get the scene that sets up the whole arc for the movie. Basically, Jamie Lee Curtis, her character Laurie Strode, basically goes to the Myers house, Michael's house, just to drop off a key. A simple little thing, like just drop a key off and go. And boom, as she does that, Michael appears at the door, spots her, and as she walks on, just singing to herself, as you do, he leaves the house, stands out, and you have that scene where he's just standing there for 10 seconds, just breathing and watching her. And that sets up the whole thing for the movie. He basically follows her for that entire day. It's like she sees him everywhere, like standing in front of him, that iconic scene beside the bush. And he steps off the frame, you know, off frame, and, you know, into the bush, beside the bush. And we're standing out in the back garden with the clothesline, and drives past them in the car. Isn't that amazing, Michael can drive? Someone around there must be giving lessons. Creepy, like, stalking scene for me is probably where she's in school and she's sitting at the desk and she just happens to just, you know, whatever, and looks over at the window and sees him just standing there behind his car. And then she's baffled, then the shot zooms in and he's just standing. It's just creepy. Like, before she looked and spotted him, it makes you wonder, how long was he standing there watching? Could have been 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. You know, it's just creepy. And it's even creepier because that sort of thing could happen in real life. You know, for young ones, like anything. Like some guy can spot a kid or a teenager, just follow them for the rest of the day. Just, you know, wait for their moment, you know, pounce. But that's what makes it more scary, because it does happen in real life, and that's why that you know, it's not too far-fetched, it's not too complex. It's simplicity, as I said earlier, and yeah, that's the most creepiest one for me. And then comes that night, Halloween night. You know, everyone's doing their own thing. Her two friends just want to get laid. That's their goal in life. And Laurie, the opposite, babysitting kids, carving pumpkins. Complete opposites. So, yeah. Horror movie rules: don't have sex. One broke it, got killed. You know, had that iconic scene where, you know, Bob goes to the fridge to get a beer. Legend has it she's still waiting for that beer. And Bob just goes to the fridge, hears noise. He's like, no, come on, you asshole. And boom, Michael just out of nowhere, just like a ball, just boom, gets him, lifts him up by the neck, as you do. And then that iconic scene where just that shot of him, and I always thought as a kid, that knife is huge. Like, you had him like that, this big ass knife. It's like, whoa, that's, damn. And, yep, the iconic scene, stabs him. He's stuck in a wall. And, of course, when he steps back, is another one of the creepiest scenes, and simplicity. Where he's just staring at him. And he just tilts the head, the iconic head tilt. It's like he's admiring his own work. Now, either he's admiring his work, or he's just fascinated by what I did, or dead body he was moving a second ago and now he isn't. Like, curiosity, you know, it's really creepy. And of course, he puts the cover on, he goes in as a ghost, and of course he had to take the glasses, right? He had to take Bob's glasses. Wasn't bad enough killing the bastard. You gotta steal the man's glasses too. So, goes in, opens the door, she's like, come on, where's my beer? You know, see anything you like? We all remember that one, right boys? Right men? Yeah? We were kids. Yeah, obligatory tit shot. Obligatory tit shot. I'm quoting Scream, not me. Randy. I will get there too, don't worry. I'll be ranking them. And yeah, so she goes to ring Laurie. Michael goes behind her, that music kicks in, that iconic dun, 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 dun. So simple music, just, that's literally two keys. Do, 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 yeah. Simplicity, I'm telling you, simplicity, it's amazing how basic, but yet effective. And so yeah, goes up, she answers, hello, gets strangled, like, you know, famous chewing, or something like that, he said. And boom, dead. I was always pissed off as a kid. Why'd you kill the pretty one? Then Michael picks up the phone, listens to Laurie. You know, it makes you wonder, like, did he put the phone up to see was it Laurie, or was he just curious? Like, who the fuck's this? You know, like, it's strange. It's little things like that. So, Laurie goes over to the house. No, she looks out, sees the lights across the way. So, she goes over, goes into the house, shouts for friends, goes upstairs, and then there's a fucking gnarly ass scene where she opens the door, and Annie is just lying in the bed with Judith Myers' headstone behind her. You know, this is like where we figure out that Michael likes to what's the word? Decorate. We'll go with decorate. Decorate his corpses. I mean, we all do that, right? No? So yeah, she's shocked obviously, and then I know it's meant to be a serious moment, but I always laugh at the part when the little thing opens up, and you see Lindsay, not Lindsay, that's the little girl, her other friend, and you see her like her face like I don't know why that made me laugh. But anyway, she runs out screaming her ass off. Oh, of course, Bob's hanging upside down. He was chilling. And she runs out into the hall, and then big dark ass fucking doorway beside her. Why do you always. Who? What? Never mind. And you have the iconic scene, and it's one of the most iconic scenes. And they've tried this before in future movies. Doesn't quite work as well. But, you know, where you just see the white face from the mask, Michael's mask, just slowly appear into focus. Attempts to stab her, misses. He misses a lot in this movie. I mean, whoever taught him to drive could at least teach him to stab on point. Then Laurie falls down the stairs with that awesome scream. That's badass scream she makes. Great vocals. So she gets up, runs, music again on point, never misses a beat. Has, Michael walking down the stairs after her. It's scary, but seems also eerie. It's like Michael doesn't run. He could have easily ran down those stairs, but he didn't. He just walked casually, like it's just another day in the office. I'm killing bitches today. Love my job. So she gets in, locks the door. Michael busts that shit open. I ain't nothing to him. So it takes her 5 minutes to realize it's glass. Glass breaks. Breaks it, runs across, tries to scream for the neighbor. They say, fuck that shit, I'm going to sleep. Runs home, trying to get Tommy up. And of course, then you see Michael across the street with that brilliant scene where you just see him walking across, not running, just walking, and it's terrifying because he's not in a hurry. I'd be shitting myself thinking, why is he not in a hurry? Does he know something I don't? Which he must have. He must have knew the window was open inside. So she got in. Tommy eventually comes to the door, lets her in. She's in, close it, lock it. Get upstairs. Then she sees the window open, then she gets down, gets the knitting needle. Then Michael jumps up from behind her, misses again. Gives her the opportunity to stick him in the neck with a knitting needle. So he gets up, pulls it out, looks at it, falls, and she drops the knife. That was the biggest pet peeve of the original Halloween. Don't drop the... You dropped the knife! Why would you do that? She does that fucking 2 times. So, she drops the knife, runs upstairs, banging, getting the kids out. They're like, are you sure? He said, you can't kill the boogeyman. Boom, Michael appears behind her. And I love how subtle. It wasn't like you heard him running up. It was just, you saw the shadow in the background just coming up the stairs. Simplicity again. And, so she runs in, locks herself in the closet, tries to tie it up. And then you have the iconic scene, another iconic scene. That word's mentioned a lot in the original Halloween. There's a reason for that. So, Michael breaks the whole thing. She sticks him with the coat hanger in the eye. Then he drops a knife. She finally gets a knife, stabs him. Then he falls. And then she eventually goes up, drops the knife again. Goes over to the door, stops, goes down, instead of just running the fuck out of that house. Why would you stay in that house? I don't know, maybe you would do things like that. In those situations you might panic and you wouldn't think straight, like you wouldn't think logically like we would think, when you're calm. So, and you'd be full of adrenaline too. So, sits down. The kids find Dr. Loomis, who's been walking around looking for Michael all night. You know, I may also add, Loomis had some amazing quotes in this movie. Some of the most iconic in the franchise. You know, I feel that's why in Halloween Kills, which we'll get there, I think Laurie makes all these monologues and long speeches. I think they're just trying to recapture Donald Pleasance from the original. But anyway, we're not talking about Kills, we're talking about the original. So he makes loads of iconic speeches. That's the point. Amazing. Love Donald Pleasance. So, Donald Pleasance sees the house, and then we also see Michael getting up again with that iconic, like, just inhuman way of doing it. Looking around, and the music starts again, never misses a beat. And he gets up, strangles Laurie, and Dr. Loomis runs up the stairs, pulls out his gun, shoots Michael 6 times. And Michael falls off the balcony. Boom. That's it. Then Laurie asks, what's the boogeyman? And Loomis, again, as a matter of fact, it was. She starts crying. And, so Loomis walks to the balcony, looks down. Boom, Michael's gone. And that's it. That's the Halloween theme music starts. And then we hear Michael's breath in every place that he's been in throughout the whole movie. And then credits hit. I know I've said enough about this movie. I can't praise it enough. It's amazing. It was inventive. It was absolutely ahead of its time. The music was phenomenal by John Carpenter. And what's interesting though, this is probably the only Halloween in the whole franchise that doesn't have blood. You look at all the other Halloweens, they all have blood and guts. And that's, because they were trying to keep up with the Friday the 13th franchise, which would never exist if not for this movie. I want to say that straight. It's amazing. If somehow you haven't seen this movie yet, get on it. Because it's unbelievable. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's easy accessible. You can watch it anywhere at this point. So I highly recommend you watch it. Especially for Halloween. We're coming into that season. But yeah. So if I were to score it out of 10, I would totally give it 8 out of 10. It's an amazing movie. It's phenomenal. Yeah. 8 out of 10. Totally recommend it. Totally. Ooh, I keep saying totally. So, if you're still watching, thank you. Means a lot. And yeah, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. The next movie I'm going to review is Halloween 2. Like I said, I'm going through all the way, reviewing every single Halloween all the way into Ends. And then I'm going to be reviewing other franchises, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, Friday the 13th franchise, Psycho, everything. Every horror movie you can think of, I will eventually get to it. So, yeah. So what did you think of Halloween 1? Did you think it was a masterpiece? Was it your favorite? No, let me know in the comments below. We'll talk about it. So, thank you for watching. And don't kill anyone. See you next time.